Another question that often arises for grievers has to do with trusting God after your life is turned upside down by shattered expectations.
One of the biggest challenges after Yanti died was my relationship with God. I grew up in the church. Both of my parents are ordained ministers. My dad is a pastor. I grew up going multiple times during the week. I went to Christian schools. And I felt that I had a really close relationship with God. And frankly, God had been nothing but good to me in my entire life. And so when I experienced that kind of loss, I just didn't know what to do with that. I didn't know how to see God anymore. I only knew him as a loving God, and I thought we were really close. But I felt like this was really cruel, and I didn't know how it fit into my whole worldview. And I felt so far away from him. And I just questioned, did he really love me? And did I really love him?
Basically, for the first 35 years of my life, things had just sort of gone just exactly the way that I would have expected them to go. I felt like I understood God. I felt like I sort of had a good understanding of how things worked. And when this event happened, it sort of just changed all that. If I go back and look at my journals, I would say over half of what I wrote was about those questions about God. Who is God, and does he answer our prayers, and how involved is he in our life, and where do I go from here? And I remember telling my counselor one time, I just don't know who God is anymore. I just can't quite figure this out. And it wasn't that I wanted to run away from God. I just didn't know how to run to him in this situation.
When we face catastrophic loss, I don't know how it's possible not to ask the question, does God love me? How could he allow this? And if he did allow it, how could I ever trust him again? So when you question the love of God in those circumstances, it seems entirely legitimate to me. And I have asked the same thing. But then we have to step back over time and ask, what do we actually mean by the love of God? Does it mean we're always going to get our way?
When you distrust someone, you don't feel safe around that person. And sometimes your distrust is fueled by shattered expectations of that person. You expected one thing from this person, but you experienced something totally different. That often happens in our relationship with the Lord.
Christians often get told, when you come to Jesus, everything's going to be perfect and great and grand, no suffering and all those kinds of things. But the reality is that, Jesus isn't, and God is not our ticket to avoid suffering and difficulty.
Jesus says in John 16, in this world you will have problems, you'll have troubles, but take heart, I have overcome the world. So my theology doesn't say that God's come to take away my problems, but he has come to be with me through my problems and to sustain me.
A lot of the where are you, why this, why now, was really based upon the assumption that we thought that God was supposed to help us avoid these things and not help us walk through them.
Well, then, if God does not promise to shield us from the trials of life, then we need to train ourselves to think in terms of a different set of expectations and a different kind of question.
Do we discover the love of God in a different way? And that is that God does not manipulate the universe to always give us our way, but that he comes to us. He enters into the human story and stands with us. He ultimately embraces suffering and suffers in a way that we would never be able to imagine.
God has proven his goodness to us at the cross of Christ. No matter our circumstances or our grief, we know that God's love for us in Christ is immeasurable.
To learn more about joining or hosting a GriefShare support group, visit griefshare.org.